Hello everyone and welcome to another Pyro Gaming video. It's a new week, which means there are new vendor weapons that we need to take a look at. This is your weekly vendor reset video for the week of May 2nd. So looking at the 0-day dilemma at the Crucible, we'll see that it has persistence, small bore, a pinned magazine, spray and play, and close and or personal. No, I would just pass on that. Just passing that altogether. Next up we have the B29 Party Favor. Comes with Third Eye, Small Bore, Lightweight, Eye of the Storm, Feeding Frenzy. We're going to pass on that one too. We've seen better rolls of that. Hero Formula Scout Rifle, Hidden Hand, Hand-Laid Stock, Armor Piercing, Rodeo, and Take a Knee. This could be a decent option for Crucible. I would not use this in PvE at all with this perk roll, but for Crucible, Hidden Hand, Hand-Laid Stock, and Rodeo, you're going to have a very stable scout rifle that you can just fire like crazy. And this should give you a nice little boost to target acquisition as well. Do we have anything over here? Yep. Focus Lens FLA5, Enhanced Target Acquisition. So this could be a pretty good Crucible or scout rifle, actually. I would pick that up if you're a fan of high rate of fire Crucible scouts. I would say pick that one up and give it a shot for sure. Next up, Palindrome with Rangefinder, Rifled Barrel, Explosive Rounds, Mulligan, and Icarus. So again, Crucible roll with Icarus, Rifled Barrel, and Rangefinder. You're going to have really good range on this thing, and Icarus is going to give you that in-air accuracy boost so that you can jump around like an asshole in the Crucible a lot more, and it even has True Sight. So yeah, definitely pick this one up. This is a really good Palindrome for Crucible this week. For PvE, just pass on it. It's not a PvE hand cannon this week. Next up, we have the Each New Day Fusion Rifle, Hot Swap, Braced Frame, Rifled Barrel, Unflinching, Life Support. Another pretty good Crucible option here with Life Support, Braced Frame, and Hot Swap. Hot Swap makes this thing super accurate when you first switch to your special. Braced Frame is going to give you that massive stability boost, and you're going to lose one round of the magazine. It's going to drop you down to 5. But with that massive stability boost, the stability on fusion rifles brings the projectiles closer together, so more of them are going to hit your targets at longer ranges. So Braced Frame is fantastic to have on a Crucible fusion, and you have life support. Kills with this weapon while critically wounded have a chance to start regenerating health. All around, pretty solid Crucible fusion right here, guys. PvE, no. Crucible, yes. 44 Curtain Call, Crowd Control, Reinforced Barrel, Knee Pads, Quick Draw, and Performance Bonus. So you're going to want to run these top 3 right here. You're going to want to run Performance Bonus, Reinforced Barrel, and Crowd Control. And this is going to be a pretty hard-hitting shotgun for both PvE and PvP. More aimed towards the Crucible with Performance Bonus, since the special ammo economy being what it is. When you get a kill with this thing, it might give you a little bit of extra ammo for free to keep you alive on your little killing spree. So, yeah, not a bad shotgun at all, PvE and PvP-wise. Next up, the Anton's Rule Sidearm, and the Anton's Rule comes with Rangefinder, Fitted Stock, Casket Mag, Zen Moment, and Feeding Frenzy. This one's really good, but you just don't have me here. Fitted Stock is meh. I mean, look how much that does. It does nothing. So for that, I'm going to pass on that. Next up, we have the Event Horizon with Arc Damage, Hidden Hand, Explosive Rounds, Perfect Balance, Underdog, and Spray and Play. So this is a pretty solid sniper this week with Hidden Hand, Perfect Balance, and Spray and Play. I'm going to rock these two down here. I'm going to combine it with this. What sight options do we have? We have this short gauge SLH-10, which is my personal favorite sight option on this sniper rifle. So with Spray and Play, it's going to make that 3-round magazine not so bad, because Spray and Play is going to make it to where as long as you fire all those 3 shots before you reload, you're going to reload much quicker. Perfect Balance, stability on sniper rifles is never ever a bad thing, and Hidden Hand target acquisition is never ever a bad thing. So if you need a solid arc high impact sniper, go pick yourself up an Event Horizon for PvE. And if you still like sniping in the Crucible, this is a really good one, man. It's one of the few snipers out there that can still one-shot Titans out of hammers consistently. So go pick it up. Go pick it up, up. Chaotic Neutral Machine Gun, we have Persistence. Perfect balance, armor piercing, Eye of the Storm, hipfire, and that's going to be a hard no. And we have the Something Wicked rocket launcher, which I personally really like. And it's void, it comes with tracking, it comes with heavy payload, and it comes with life support. So kind of a mix between Crucible and PvE here. Tracking and heavy payload are great all around, but tracking is more of a PvE perk, and life support is more of a PvP perk. So if you just need a good, not great, void rocket launcher, I would say go pick this one up. But if you have any other options, I would say pass on this one this week. We could do better, and that does it for the Crucible. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, so taking a look at new Monarchy, we will start with the Assembly 2 auto rifle. This week it comes with rangefinder, hammer forged, rodeo, high caliber, and quick draw. So this is not bad. This is not bad at all. I would do rangefinder here. I would do rodeo over hammer forged, because really you shouldn't be trying to maximize the range out of this. This is a close quarters weapon, maybe like medium range at best, but you shouldn't be trying to do long range engagements with this. So for that, rangefinder, rodeo, high caliber rounds on this archetype of auto rifle, you're going to be staggering enemies like crazy in the Crucible. This is actually a pretty good roll, guys. I would pick this one up and I would try it out for sure if you are a fan of the bullet hose archetype auto rifle in the Crucible. Pick it up, try it out. Should not be bad. Next up, the Free Will 3 hand cannon. Reactive reload, hammer forged, outlaw, explosive rounds, quick draw. Some good perks, but on this archetype of hand cannon, these perks just don't do it justice, unfortunately. And not only that, but you really want to run outlaw and explosive rounds. But the thing is with both of these combined, the explosive rounds is going to make it so that outlaw does not proc all that often. So for all these reasons, I'm going to pass on the Free Will this week. Next up, the Impreacher 5 sidearm. She comes with reactive reload, hand-loaded, relentless tracker, armor-piercing rounds, and hipfire. It's okay, not great. I think we could do better. I'm going to pass. Moving on, we have the Bad Council shotgun, crowd control, hammer forged, surrounded, extended mag, and quick draw. I feel like we get a very similar roll to this pretty much every week. Extended mag is great. Hammer forged is never bad on shotguns. Crowd control is never bad on shotguns. If you need a good, solid solar shotgun for PvE, I would say pick this one up, and it will do you justice. What do we have here? Yeah, we don't have any boosts to anything. But solid PvE shotgun, probably an okay Crucible shotgun. But if you have any better options, I would say use it over this. But if, like I said, if you just want that solar workhorse shotgun for PvE, then the Bad Council is your huckleberry for the week, it looks like. Next up, the Deposition 7 sniper rifle. Take a knee, perfect balance, mulligan, armor piercing, and quick draw just doesn't have it. I'm going to pass. And lastly, the First Citizen machine gun. Persistence, small bore, army of one, armor piercing rounds, hipfire. So persistence and small bore are really good to have on this archetype, but you just don't have me over here. Armor piercing rounds doesn't do what it used to do in year one. If it did, I would say pick it up, but it just doesn't have it for me. And you shouldn't be hip firing with a machine gun. So I'm going to pass on this one, and that does it for new Monarchy. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next one, shall we? Alright, taking a look at Dead Orbit, starting with the Extremophile auto rifle. We have glass half full, hammer forged, hot swap, high caliber, and lightweight. This one's pretty good. This one's pretty good. This is not good on this archetype at all because this encourages you not to reload, and it's just not good. I would pass on Extremophile this week, guys. Next up, the Keystone 01 Scout Rifle, Hidden Hand, Small Bore, Outlaw, Explosive Rounds, and Lightweight. So we just saw this problem on the Free Will Hand Cannon. Explosive Rounds and Outlaw are both really good perks, but when you combine them together, Explosive Rounds is going to make it so that Outlaw is really hard to proc, and because of that, it's kind of a wasted perk. Hidden Hand's really good. Small Bore is going to be good, but it's going to drop your magazine size down to 12, and with Explosive Rounds, altogether, I mean, it's got good perks, but it's not perks that go well together. So for that, I'm going to say pass on this week, guys. We have seen better Keystones in the past. Next up, the Worlds to Come Fusion. She comes with Eye of the Storm, Small Bore, Spray and Play, Enhanced Battery, Lightweight. Not a terrible perk. Always a good perk, and again, always a good perk if you want a pretty decent Void Fusion Rifle for PvE. I would say pick this one up. For Crucible, this is a hard pass, but for PvE, you could probably pick that up and try it out. Next up, the Last Ditch with Crowd Control, Perfect Balance, Cascade, Flared Magwell, and Snapshot. That just does nothing for me, so I'm going to pass on that. Next up, the Bitter Edge, Sniper, Trash Archetype, Hidden Hand, Hammer Forge, Triple Tap, Armor Piercing, Snapshot. Trash perks on a Trash Archetype. Don't touch it. Next up, Unto Dust Rocket Launcher comes with Tracking, Javelin, Battle Runner, Field Scout, and Snapshot. So, it's going to be a pass. Tracking and Javelin are really good, but this one, all right, if you want a PvE rocket launcher, Tracking, Javelin, and Field Scout are three of the best perks that you can have on this. But honestly, this just is not the best archetype for rocket launchers. Rocket launchers, you want as high blast radius as you can get, something like a disassembly required, so that it has that monster impact as soon as it detonates. You don't want something that fires this slow and doesn't hit this or very hard. So, I mean, it's got good perks. If you just absolutely need an arc rocket launcher with tracking, then pick this one up, but otherwise, pass on it, and we're done with Dead Orbit. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, Future War Cult, starting with the Whale Hand Cannon. We have Firefly, Hot Swap, Perfect Balance, Explosive Rounds, Quick Draw. So almost a Fatebringer type role here with Firefly and Explosive Rounds, but much like with Fatebringer and some of the other weapons that we've seen that had Explosive Rounds and Outlaw this week, Explosive Rounds with anything that requires you to get a precision kill don't really mesh all that well together. You really want to use one or the other and not both at the same time. And for that reason, I'm going to pass, because Firefly and Perfect Balance are both really good. And if we had anything else here that would give us some kind of boost to range, maybe some kind of boost to reload speed, I would say absolutely 100% go for this, even though it does have a 7-round magazine. But these two combined, I'm just not a fan of, and for that reason, I'm going to pass. Next up, the Waltz Pulse Rifle comes with Glass Half Full, Perfect Balance, Eye of the Storm, Flared Magwell. Just doesn't have it this week. Nothing spectacular. I'm going to pass on that altogether. Next up, the Waiting Fusion Rifle comes with Rangefinder, Perfect Balance, Knee Pads, Accelerated Coils, and Snapshot. So this is going to be a pretty interesting Crucible roll with Rangefinder, Perfect Balance, and either Accelerated Coils or Snapshot. Accelerated Coils, if you want to use this as more of a panic weapon, you switch to your secondary, you pull it out, you shoot, and Snapshot if you want to run around and use your special as a primary. So altogether, pretty good Crucible Fusion Rifle right here, guys. For PvE, not the best rolls, but PvE if you just want a solid, hard-hitting Saladin's Vigil archetype fusion rifle that does solar damage, that's your Huckleberry. Go pick it up. Next up, we have the Wounded Scout Rifle. She comes with Zen Moment, Small Bore, Third Eye, High Caliber Rounds, and Snapshot. So High Caliber Rounds, Small Bore, and Zen Moment are all three going to be really, really good perks. What do we have over here? We have the Ranged Lens. We also have the Reflex. I would pick Ranged Lens personally and use this as a mini sniper. But this is going to be a decent option for both Crucible and PvE. I would say pick it up if you're a fan of this archetype and you just want to try something different. This is a really interesting perk set, so could be good. Could be good. Next up, the Wormwood Sidearm. She comes with Rangefinder, Fitted Stock, Army of One, High Caliber, and Quick Draw. This is probably going to be the best sidearm that we see this week. Rangefinder, Fitted Stock, and High Caliber. You're going to be able to stagger your enemies, get a little bit extra range. Sidearms are the Crucible meta, guys. Go get yourself this sidearm. It's not going to be bad. I would guess that you're going to be killed by it if you play Crucible rather frequently. Next up, the Warpath Rocket Launcher. Maxed out blast radius. That's what you want on a rocket launcher, man. Tracking, heavy payload, battle runner, flared magwell, and snapshot. So, excuse me, this is interesting. So, tracking is really good. And because this thing already has max blast radius, heavy payload does absolutely nothing for it. Look at this. It does not change anything if you put heavy payload on. So because of that, you're going to have to run Battle Runner, and for that reason, this is a trash rocket launcher this week. So if it did not have Blast Radius, then heavy payload is one of the best perks to have on rocket launchers, but tracking and Battle Runner just does not do it for me, man. So for that, I'm going to pass, and that does it for Future War Cult. Let's move on to Vanguard and wrap things up, shall we? Alright, so taking a look at the Vanguard Quartermaster and starting with the Continental Auto Rifle. Glass half full, small bore, rifle barrel, spray and play, Eye of the Storm. Don't like it. Just like the Extremophile from Dead Orbit, it's almost the exact same roll. So, just pass. Parthian Shot, Counterbalance, Hand-Laid Stock, Lightweight, Rodeo, and Feeding Frenzy. Pretty good Crucible roll here. Counterbalance, Hand-Laid Stock, Rodeo. You're going to have a very, very, very stable pulse rifle. This archetype of pulse rifle, of course, has 2-shot or 2-burst kill potential in the Crucible. If you can land every single bullet from both of those shots, be precision hits. So, yeah, not bad. If you're a fan of this archetype, this is going to be an absolute laser beam. So I would pick it up if you like that. Next up, the Angel's Advocate Scout Rifle, Hidden Hand, Hand-Laid Stock, Explosive Rounds, Rodeo, and Mulligan. This is really more of a Crucible roll with Hidden Hand and Rodeo. Yeah, if you want to try this out, if you're a fan of Crucible Scouts and you want that Mida Multi-Tool archetype Scout Rifle in the Crucible, but you don't want to take up an exotic slot, this is a decent option. I'd run Hidden Hand and either Explosive Rounds or Hand-Laid Stock. Both are going to be really good. This one's going to stagger your enemies. This one's going to make it to where this thing has no recoil whatsoever, pretty much. And Rodeo is going to reduce that stability even further. So, pretty good roll for Crucible. PvE, I would just say pass on it altogether. Next up, the How Dare You Hand Cannon, Rangefinder, Small Bore, Lightweight, Triple Tap, Partial Refund. So Rangefinder and Small Bore are both really good, but you kind of lose me on Triple Tap because this is not going to be something that you want to use in PvE. This archetype just does not do very well in PvE at all. Crucible, it's okay, but Triple Tap's not really a Crucible perk, so you're going to have to run Partial Refund, which kind of feels like, you know, it kind of feels like a wasted perk because you have to have somebody else finish your kill for you. So 2 pretty good perks for this, but I'm just not feeling it. I'm going to pass on that this week. Next up, X-Astris Fusion Rifle, Eye of the Storm, Braced Frame, Enhanced Battery Spray and Play, Replenish. Crucible roll, ding ding ding, yet again, Replenish is a great perk to have on your specials in the Crucible nowadays, since special ammo is hard to come by. This gives you guaranteed special every time you pop your super. Braced Frame, look at that stability, man. The projectiles are going to be grouped together really tightly. They're going to hit their targets as intended. And Eye of the Storm isn't the best, but it's also a kind of underrated perk. I mean, it's good. It has its moments. Crucible, yes. PvE, no. Next up, the Teacup Tempest, Hidden Hand, Hand Loaded, Casket Mag, Mulligan, Army of One. Go buy the Wormwood if you want to sidearm this week, guys. Next up, Occam's Razor, Rangefinder, Small Bore, Quick Draw, Replenish, Life Support. Another pretty good Crucible option with Rangefinder, Small Bore, and literally either one of these for Crucible is going to do you some justice. This isn't the ideal archetype for Crucible, but it's still pretty good because you can get some shots off pretty quick. So next up, we have the 7th Sense Sniper Rifle. Unflinching, Quick Draw, Snapshot, Army of One. Trash perks on a trash gun. Don't touch it. Next up, Bone Crusher. We have Persistence, Hand-Laid Stock, Armor Piercing, Life Support, and Hipfire. So Hand-Laid Stock is one of the best perks that you can have on this archetype of machine gun because you can see it comes with no stability. But unfortunately, Persistence, this weapon grows more accurate the longer it is fired. This encourages you to just hold down that trigger. And with a 25-round magazine in this weapon, you just don't want to do that. So for that reason, I'm going to say pass. We can do better. So to finish things off, we have a disassembly required rocket launcher. She comes with Cluster Bomb, Perfect Balance, Javelin, Grenadier, and Life Support. So this is Cluster Bomb and Javelin are both going to be really good perks to have on this archetype. But you lose me over here. Life Support's more of a Crucible perk. Grenadier is, I mean, let's be honest. It's just, you don't. Who cares? You don't need it. Who cares? You know. These two are really good. If you just need a hard-hitting arc rocket launcher, I would say pick this one up for PvE. But other than that, I would say pass on this week. And that does it for the week, guys. Thank you guys for checking this video out. Thank you for sticking around. If you watch this whole thing, I want you to type 1-2 and then your birth or however old you are into the comments. That way everybody's number is different. And I can tell who actually watched the video and who just looked at the comments and be like, oh, everybody's typing potato. I'm going to type potato. I'm a troll. But anyway, guys, that's going to bring this video to an end. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, click like. If you're new to the channel, click subscribe. And if you are already subscribed, I fucking love you. Thank you for watching. Take care, guys.